Welcome to CPG Vibes. No script, just chat. We talk all things food and beverage and so much more. Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcast or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review. If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service or be a guest, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com. Now your hosts, me, Alex Bear with Genius Juice, and Wade Yenny. All right, welcome to episode 76, another great number this week. We had 75 for those that are not counting, which everyone is. 75, the diamond anniversary, episode. Now we got 76 going on. Wade, how you doing, buddy?
Good. It's the spirit of 76, right?
Absolutely. It's a very patriotic number. We love it. And also a gas station, which I will never have to go to again since I have an electric car. I want to say that. All right. Had to rub that one in, So, so just some quick laundry list items we're going to talk about. First off, and we don't really say this much, but make sure to follow our show on Apple Podcasts. We always say give us 5 stars. We're like 5 stars, 5. It's
follow, subscribe, right? I think that's what the kids call it, subscribing to the show.
Exactly. It's the Gen Z word is follow and subscribe. We could be the Mr. Beast, of CPG podcasts. You never know. You probably, have you seen these videos for Mr. Beast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We can have the last one to, this sounds really bad. Like the last one, they have ones where like you're in a circle or whatever. It's like the last one to leave this store will be the one that gets in or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure out some kind of sponsorship there with like a big chain account or something like that. But anyway, randomness aside, follow and subscribe, give us 5 stars. Also, if you'd like to sponsor our podcast, we have actually an opening. We had something move. So we have an opening actually next week. We have some additional openings as well. So some good opportunities that just came up. So make sure to email cpgvibes100@gmail.com. If you'd like to sponsor, we have sponsorships at $350 at a discount, and we will mention you on the show multiple times. And then we're now starting to get into the groove of bringing our sponsors on, like literally bringing you on the show to talk about your product, and we get to meet you and you can tell the story, very quick story because it's only 2 or 3 minutes. And we're going to have our premier sponsor today, Andrew Arbogast with Arbo's Cheese Dip. He's going to be coming on later today to talk about his product as well. So if you want to be a guest, same thing, cpgvibes100@gmail.com. We're booked out till 2029. But if you would like to...
we know people.
Yeah. A lot of people on LinkedIn, a lot more than before. So we got maybe the World Cup, athletes coming on, and we got a lot of people. I'm just kidding around.
Hey, we did have an NBA champion. That's not out of the realm of possibilities, right?
It definitely is not. I mean, we're crossing the chasm on different sports, and we had Meta World Peace on. That was such a great show last week. The guy is, so inspirational, and I love when remember when we asked him like, "What'd you do as a kid? What sport?" He's like, "Freeze tag." Like, what? So, and his trivia question was funny too. Like,
right.
So he's random. He's funny. Meta World Peace. And then we are working on, I got to say, Wade, that this is something I've been working on in the background. We're getting on a Hall of Famer. It isn't confirmed yet. Okay. But potentially I'd say it's 50% or more, 50% or more.
Okay.
Hall of Famer football player.
Nice.
On this show, working on that one. So
I like it.
Yep. All right. So a couple quick shout outs, and we're going to bring on our guest. We're super excited to have her on, and we're going to dedicate a lot of time to hearing her story, her product, the pivot. Has obviously a great podcast setting in the background. She's really done it up right. You'll see that as well. So just shout out to, let me go through this here. Gavin Conkle, stuck in Boston, canceled, rebooked, delayed. Okay. Boston, are they going to extradite you out of there, Gavin? I mean, are they going to get tired of you and kick you out? We'll see. Wyatt Rizzer, I've never seen him before. I think he's a first timer, right? Happy Friday,
I think
y'all.
Wyatt's been on. I think Wyatt's been on before.
He has. Okay, got it. Yeah, memory is fading fast. I need to start taking some mud water. So Stephanie Hui, happy Friday from San Francisco. Luis Edaberto, happy Friday. Excited for this episode. Absolutely. We are excited too to bring her on. Matthew Rink, Evan Conkle, safe travels. And what else? Sean Berg is on here. Oh, hey. I got someone actually that I talked to today that is looking to hire you. So
Nice.
Friend of mine that knows you and wants to hire you. So there you go. And obviously we have Andrew who's waiting in the wings. We'll bring him on later on in this episode as a sponsor. And then Gavin, let's circle back on that, Alex, for sure. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on our guest here. Wade, you got to remind me of the exact name of the show. I don't want to get anything wrong. The Gordon Ramsay show.
Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars.
Food Stars. So she was on this season. I know something happened this week. We'll talk more about that. Gordon is just tough. My friend was on there too in MasterChef. And yeah, he's a tough cookie, pun intended on that one. And and she has an amazing story, battling through some different illnesses, getting through that, pivoting her product. And let's get some music going here. I'm going to go for, this one's good. This one's good. All right. Sydney Webb, she is the founder of Toto. How you doing, Sydney?
Hello. Happy Friday, guys. Super excited to be here.
We're super excited to have you here. Welcome.
I'm also very inspired by this very inspiring music. Thank you. I don't know if I've ever had a theme song play when I've come on anywhere, so I'm feeling special already.
That's what we strive to do here on the show is make everyone feel special.
Perfect.
And me, with our limited library of music that we have very little money on the show and no purchasing rights, we have a selection of maybe 10 songs. And this is the one I thought was the best fit.
Thank you. I'm truly flattered.
Cool. And you're in pink, right? You got the pink logo behind you. You got the pink.
Yes.
Everything.
Pink is our, I would say, our main brand color. And I feel like I always feel this deep sense of attachment to the brand whenever I wear it. So in pink.
Yeah, for sure. And, I got my parents hooked on the cookies, on your cookies.
Yes.
And
that's awesome.
When he, my dad, who's obviously he's in the 70s, when he took a bite out of it, I'm like, did you know that you just ate a cookie with functional mushrooms in it? He's like, what? like portobello mushrooms? Like, no, like functional mushrooms.
That is some of the most common feedback we receive, and probably my favorite feedback to receive when people can't believe that they're vegan or gluten-free or have adaptogens. That's the ultimate goal. It's definitely what we strive for sure.
Cool. And then remind us, where are you out of? Where are you doing the podcast from?
I'm currently based in Santa Monica, California. I've been here for
on the corner
in California, Southern California, my whole life. So I am as true SoCal as they come.
There must be cars at this hour, right? We're talking 2:45 p.m. Santa Monica. There must be cars lined up outside of your office right now trying to get home.
I'm very happy that this podcast did not require me driving anywhere, because it would take a solid 3 hours to go about 3 miles.
Yeah, exactly. You can hear there's even sirens.
I was going to say, one thing I do not miss about Southern California, and that would be it, the traffic.
Yes,
the traffic.
I know.
Impeccable timing on those sirens.
Yeah. And so we need to jump into things, and I shared a little bit, and I know you did too, Sydney, about how you and I know each other and how we got introduced. But I guess a good place to start is your brand has evolved, right? It's a finished shelf-stable product now, but originally when you and I talked, it wasn't called Toto. No. It wasn't a shelf-stable product. It was. So share a little bit about let's go in the Wayback Machine and talk about your story. What made you decide to do this, the background, and where we are?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the inspiration for Toto came from my health journey. I've had Crohn's disease for about 12 years and crazy that it's been 7 years already. But 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with early stage colon cancer. So I've definitely been through the ringer a bit for someone my age, health wise. And I've sought out just about every form of treatment and healing and supplements under the sun. And over the last 12 years, the one thing that has been the most consistent thing for me time and time again has been food as medicine, and really looking at health through the lens of what am I eating? How am I taking care of my body? What is my mindset like? Am I moving my body? Not just take a pill, feel better. I originally really discovered this concept when I was going through my healing with Crohn's, finding absolutely no relief in all of the medication I was prescribed. And so through working with a holistic doctor, I was able to get off of all medication, felt incredible for about 1.5 years until being diagnosed with early stage colon cancer. And I was so grateful for my experience with my Crohn's and discovering this early, because I think I had such a different perspective on what my journey with cancer could look like. And so I had about a 3-month period between diagnosis and starting any form of treatment and next steps. And so during that time, I went completely vegan. And it was during this time that I was introduced to adaptogens, which 7 years ago, adaptogens were not on the radar at all. They're really just coming onto the radar now. They're essentially a class of superfoods that are known to help regulate stress in the body, everything from a cold to chronic illness, mood, libido, etc. And I started taking them every single day, went vegan, started working out every day, had a mindfulness practice every day. Went back to the doctor 3 months later and ran all the tests on the polyp in my colon. And the results came back that I was now completely healthy and completely cancer-free. And so from my experience, this was now like the second real life-changing moment that I had this aha moment that something needed to be done about food and something needed to be shared with adaptogens in a way that everyone could enjoy. And so I had this concept of fusing my two loves together. My parents were deep Toll House fans. So I was a deep Toll House fan for my entire life, and they were not the superfood seeking types. So I wanted to find a way to hide these adaptogens in the things that we were already eating. And so I had this idea that if I could somehow remake these Toll House cookies with really incredible, nourishing, anti-inflammatory ingredients, and then infuse it with these adaptogens, that we could really get the best of both worlds. And so I set out to do that. And before Toto was called Toto, it was called Made By. And we were originally selling the product in the form of cookie dough. It went well. At the time I was producing things out of my kitchen and then out of a small shared kitchen, hired a few staff to work with me. But as we continued to grow, we continued to realize how hard it was to manufacture a refrigerated product, especially one that has no preservatives of any kind. And so we originally launched cookies as a test to see what the velocity was going to look like, if people even liked them, and if it could potentially be a way out for us from selling cookie dough. And the test went extremely well. We realized that not only was it cheaper for us to produce, but they lasted longer. We wouldn't have to deal with refrigerated shipping and logistics. And the points of distribution and the opportunities for us to expand were so much greater. So we decided at the end of last year, we were going to reformulate the product and focus solely on cookies. And so we took the product out of every single place we were being sold. It was roughly 50 doors at the time. So in January of this year, we were in 0 doors. And now today we are in 1,717 doors with the cookies.
Amazing.
It's amazing. So much to unpack there, Alice.
It's a lot.
A
I know.
lot.
I just talked
A
at you
lot.
for quite a while.
No, that's great. That's a good kind of level set where you are now, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, you're seeing this trend now where you're taking these like childhood favorite
Mm-hmm.
products, whether it's mac and cheese, whether it's cookies, whether it's soda, and really
Uncrustables.
adapting it. Uncrustables, right, with chubby
Mm-hmm.
snacks.
Yep. Love
And
them.
I just ordered Sundays, the Oreo
Mm-hmm.
cookies,
Yep.
and that, high protein and low sugar and all
Mm-hmm.
that. So I think this is becoming a really, really big trend. And I asked actually Parker also a similar question. How
Mm-hmm.
heavily are you leaning in the marketing towards there's functional mushrooms and this is good for you versus
Mm-hmm.
this is a healthier cookie? Like, how are you approaching the
Mm-hmm.
marketing of your product?
Yeah, you know what? I think originally, like if you would have asked me 2 years ago, my answer probably would have been very different. But I think that what we've found is, as I hope you guys have also experienced, when you try the product, it just tastes like a really good cookie. You wouldn't guess that there's mushrooms in it, gluten-free, vegan, all the things. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. I think that the most important thing to me that we preach beyond the adaptogens and the vegan and the gluten-free aspects of it is this is made of whole food ingredients, and ingredients matter. I think that that's really the message that we want to get across, because I think that consumers are starting to wake up to it, that things like erythritol and sucralose and dextrose and all of these artificial sweeteners are absolutely terrible for our gut and for our health. And so, there's many protein cookies out there that are filled with these kind of things. And so I think that we're trying to, instead of having people focus on the nutrition panel, which can be made to look really good with all kinds of artificial ingredients to lower the sugar or lower the fat or lower the carbs, we want to encourage people to read the ingredients, because that's where you can't really hide anything there, So to answer your question, not really pushing the mushrooms, more so pushing this is, it's not healthy. It's still a cookie, but this is a really great option that your body can feel good about and you can feel good about at the end of the day.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And I think that's a good marketing angle where you have to cast basically the widest net to your customers, like, which is a better for you cookie,
Totally.
less sugar, less crap in it, less
Mm-hmm.
weird ingredients, cleaner. So, and I
Totally.
want to also comment just on the mushroom market. I've never really I have not microdosed yet. I haven't gone into the extreme
Mm-hmm.
mushrooms. I
Mm-hmm.
know Wade has. That's why he has his tie-dye cup, right? He's out.
They
He's
can
out
Not
there.
today. Not today.
The one day that I say it, you don't have it. Wow, how ironic is that? But I'm gonna just jump the gun on just some of the, the stuff we love, which I have
Mm-hmm.
the focus, and I did this at a celebration for having you on our show. I picked products with, this is as close as it gets to yours without actually having your product right here,
Totally.
because you already know we love your stuff because we brought you
Totally.
on. But mud water, which is in
Love
their little
them.
bag, I got their
Love
big
them.
bag, and then the rising tide. So
Yeah, they're great.
mushrooms, I suffered from anxiety for,
Mm-hmm.
I still to this day, for 25 or 30 years. I remember as a kid, it was hard for me to even be in a public setting. So I was in my room a lot. I had friends, but like I just didn't
Mm-hmm.
like going to big public settings or being at big dinner tables. It all gave me anxiety. And I
Yeah.
don't know what the hell was going on, right, as a kid. But going into more recently, about 2 years ago, I started taking functional mushrooms. And I would say, especially in the last 6 months, consistently, like with mud
Mm-hmm.
water every morning or having a Toto cookie or other products that have functional mushrooms intertwined in
Mm-hmm.
it. And there's a lot of snake oil out there, and functional
Yeah.
mushrooms is not one of them. Like
I
it's not like
completely agree.
you don't take it right away. The first minute you don't
Yes.
feel it, right? But
Yes.
let's say after 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, like that
Mm-hmm.
cycle, within
Mm-hmm.
a month, you feel the effects. Like I feel happier, more
Mm-hmm.
calm, my gut feels better. Obviously still have struggles here and there, but it's improved dramatically. And I just feel much
That's
better
awesome.
every day because
Yeah.
of taking mushrooms. So I really believe in that ingredient, and I'm glad it's
Totally.
starting to hit the mainstream.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think adaptogens are one of those things that, and again, I kind of touched on it earlier, but I think that people are starting to wake up to this idea that medicine, especially for chronic conditions such as anxiety or gut health or mood, sleep, there's so many, AKA just being an adult, like during these modern times. I think that people are starting to wake up to, you really can't solve things with a pill, at least for a long-term issue. You might be able to solve a headache with some Advil, but if you're having a chronic issue, it needs to be addressed in a chronic way. And I think that mushrooms have been one of those things for me too over the last 7+ years that have made such an impact. Like you said, it's roughly like a 3-week onset time to like really start feeling it consistently. But they're phenomenal, and there's just so much research on them. And I think that they're starting to become more and more popular. And it just makes me so excited for, what the future of medicine and food will look like, honestly.
Yeah. And one thing I'll mention and pass it back over to Wade is I'm liking how pharmaceutical companies, which still have a lot of power right now, and they make billions of dollars. It's still early on with functional mushrooms and growth, but you can see like in 5 or 10 years where it's going to be, and then 20 years, and then 30 years and 50 years, that I imagine at some point in the future, people will be completely off unless it's really drastically needed as an emergency or antibiotic, which there's a place and time for those types of pills. But as far as a daily pill you take to treat something going on in your body or your mind, that functional mushrooms and other functional ingredients, call me maybe not crazy, but like an optimist that this could happen like 20, 30, 40 years from now.
I
Like
believe
just like 10 years ago, who the hell would have thought that all cars would have to be electric by 2030? All cars sold would need to be electric. So I think like the world's changing rapidly with social media and outreach and news, and how word spreads really fast for something good. I see this really having an impact on the prescription drug industry. And I mean, it's just a no-brainer. It's cheap. It's less money. You feel better from it.
No side effects.
No side
very
effects.
limited side effects. Yeah.
And it's and it also, you put it in like morning tea or whatever, or like or a drink, and it tastes fine, or a cookie.
Yeah.
Right.
Or a cookie.
Right. So Sydney, I want to talk a little bit. You mentioned your original name, Made By. So I 2 things I want to know. One, and they're different, but I'm just going to throw them out there now, so I get them on thinking about it. So how did Toto come? Where did that idea come from? The branding behind it and everything there. And then the next question is completely different, and we can take a pause or whatever in between. But the categories that you're in now, where are you seeing, you mentioned 1,700 plus doors, approaching 2,000 rapidly. Where are you seeing yourself placed in stores as you're going? So that's what I want to know.
Yeah. So the transition from Made By to Toto. Made By was when I was just running things on my own. I had done all of the graphic design, which if you find anything from the Made By days, don't judge it because it's not that great. I'm not a graphic designer,
but it works.
Right now. It works. Toto, a lot of people ask what the name Toto means. They assume, I think, the band or the dog, or maybe the toilet company. We share the name with lots of great brands and people and things. But the phrase or the name Toto comes from the Latin phrase in toto, which means to be whole or complete. And I think as a brand and as a product and as an ethos, it's like really what we want to embody to help people get back to that wholeness. And I think as far as like the branding, the design, everything about Toto is very bright and happy and joyous. And that was super intentional on our part, because I think the story of Toto with my health journey, in reality, for anyone that's been through any kind of health journey, it's hard. And there's not many things that feel very happy about it in the moment. But I think that I feel very happy and joyous and grateful looking back at my experience, because without it, I wouldn't be here. And I think that so much of running Toto for me is to set an example for other people that, your diagnosis doesn't have to be your destiny. And so I think that by pairing this really beautiful, happy, joyous brand with something delicious and happy like a cookie can really kind of spin this narrative of what chronic illness and a cancer diagnosis might look like and what it could mean for someone. And as far as where we're placed in store, there it is in all its glory.
Testing the shared screen function.
We're currently placed in a couple places. Sometimes we're placed right at checkout. In some of the grocery stores we're in, they have cafes, so they're placing them right at checkout by all the coffee and teas and drinks. So we're either there or we are in the nutrition bar set, like next to the Quest and the Lenny and Larry's of the world. And that's been a really interesting spot for us because, and we've been thinking a lot about it too, if that's like where we want to stay. From a taste perspective, we really don't compete with protein cookies in the sense of, I think we aim to compete with the taste of like a Toll House. From a nutritional panel, you know, we are high protein, we are vegan, we are gluten free. And I think that that's where it makes sense for a lot of consumers to find us right now. And so we're performing super well where we are there, but I think we're definitely thinking about where it makes sense for us to also place the product in store to get various types of people to pick it up. Because I think what we're seeing now is our expected, you know, target customer has changed a lot. We have triathletes eating the cookies before, you know, a big event. We have moms buying the cookies for their kids because they want them to have a better product. We have, you know, the health and wellness yogi that wants to buy the product because it's super clean, and kind of everyone just in between, people that don't care about ingredients at all and just really like the taste of the cookie. So it's been a really interesting learning experience for us over the last 6 months to see just the wide range of people that are really enjoying the cookies.
Yeah, that's and obviously a lot of what you threw out there with regards to the nutritional bar set. That's a very, very I won't say congested, but it's a very competitive category. And but I think you bring some interesting innovation and ideas to that are different. And it kind of leads me to my next question is, so if you look at things, 4 SKUs now, right? 4?
4 SKUs.
And you know, my mantra is crawl, walk, run, and you're pretty much sprinting at a full speed right now. But I don't want to put any ideas. I'm sure you have plenty on your own in your head. But as you look down the road, as far as growing the business and perhaps expanding, what's next? Is it seasonal flavors? Is it multi-packs? Is it a smaller, you know, like a 100-calorie type, you know, what are you envisioning growing outside of your core lineup down the road?
I'm not sure if you've been on our team calls, but basically all of those things, really all of those things. I think that we definitely want to stay within the permissibly indulgent space, as we say. So we'd be making other types of grab and go desserts made with very similar ingredients. That said, I think next year we're really excited to start exploring seasonal flavors specifically for online and direct consumer. And then in store for retail, we're already in the process of creating multi-packs for certain retailers that we're launching in next year, as well as looking into a smaller size for like a kid's version of what we have now.
Yeah, and then from the distribution, like where the product goes, just something I wanted to point out and throw out there, and you can, you know, you probably have already thought of this or brought up with your team. We're selling our Genius shots plugged into a lot of different coffee shops, and when I go in there, coffee shops always have pastries. They're normally like either in-house pastries from like some local bake shop. But I'm starting to see other brands, especially in SoCal, that are growing, right? You probably see these like Nowhere Bakery, and there's another one. What is it called? I saw it at Sprouts. Docile, DACIL.
Oh, Dulce, the brownies.
Dulce. So like these are becoming really popular, like these kind of high-end bougie baked desserts. Have you ever thought about having them in like coffee shops? Have you started selling them into coffee shops in LA? What's been the status there?
I'm convinced you guys have both been on our team calls. We've just talked about both of these things in the last 24 hours. Yes, coffee has been a phenomenal channel for us. We've been in some coffee shops around LA since, back when we first even tested with the cookies. But I would say on average, the velocity that we'll do in a coffee shop is like 4 times what we'll do in retail, just because it makes so much sense. You get a coffee, you get a cookie, and you're good to go. So we just signed on with Beyond the Grind, who's a really awesome coffee distributor in the LA area.
Say hi to Ross and Eric for me.
Yep. Yeah, they're awesome. So our chief commercial officer is going to be on the road with them next week, just, hitting all the places in LA and Orange County. But we're in, I would say, late stage talks with a few pretty substantial coffee chains to do exactly that, because I completely agree. It makes a lot of sense for us, and we've seen a lot of success with it already. So we're ready to double down.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you look at Silver Lake. Venice.
I see what you did there, Alex. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes. I see what you did there. Yes.
It's going to turn into the.
You can use that. You can use that.
Hey, we will. Thank you.
I was going to say, I like that. I think I could see a lot of legs there.
Perfect for the branding.
Yes. I remember like in I Love You, Man. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie with Paul Rudd.
Yes, it's such a great movie.
And they said like totes my goats or something like that. I don't know. Didn't know what it means, but I think it meant like totally my friend or whatever. I don't know.
That sounds about right to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. We're going to reset the room here. We have some comments to get to, and then we also have one of our sponsors that is, we're going to bring him on for a few minutes just to talk about his product. Couple of comments here first, and then also wanted to mention also our long-term sponsor as well, which is V-Driven. Wade and I are working really hard to mention them in the beginning, middle. We already missed the beginning, but middle and end of our show. V-Driven is great. They do deduction management, which is a cluster in this business, making sure you fight all those chargebacks from KE and Unify and all those guys. And they also do master sales. So they help you get into new accounts. And Luke Abbott, who runs it, is a longtime entrepreneur, sold his distribution company, and now he's running V-Driven. So if you like to reach out to them, vdriven.com is a good way, or you can LinkedIn message Luke Abbott or email him, Luke, that's LUKE.Abbott, ABBOTT, at vdriven.com. Wade, I'm going to go through a couple comments. There's a lot. So what's cool is we're messing around with like displaying the site. And there were 2 people that said, I'm just going to go buy it. So that seemed to work out right there.
Love that.
Successful pilot.
Successful test.
And use code CBG vibes.
Sydney's going to go on like mute and like call someone, just like get the code on Shopify.
Hurry, go.
All right. So we have Lisa Petty, love your positive mindset. We have David Delcourt. What's up, my man? Late, but glad to be here. He just got back in from France. I actually talked to him when he was in France the other day. Dima Mararu with Guru Energy, positive mindset and thinking sky's the limit. Awesome. Kenny Hausman, what an amazing story. These cookies are just awesome. And there's another comment he said somewhere about being a great fit for Fresh Time. Since Kenny was a previous buyer at Fresh Time. Tasting is believing. Better for you is a great secondary. Taste first. Yes, taste is king.
Sure is.
Taste first, functionality. Wow. Okay, I second.
Taste first. We agree.
And then what else here? Here it is. So Lisa, yum, I'm going to have to order some.
Excited to hear what she thinks.
Yeah, and make sure to give her a review on the website as well.
Yes. And
Dimararu, great branding and website. Okay, so we're going to bring on our sponsor, and Wade, we'll say it twice, but if you want to go through a little bit about Andrew Arbogast and also Arbo is a very quick plug, and then we'll bring him right on.
Yeah. So Andrew is with Arbo's Cheese Dip, started in 2021 by Andrew, who's a former Apache pilot and veteran. He started the company after he left the service. His passion for food led him to pursue national retail using his dad's decades-old family recipe And since launching in May of 21, Arbo's introduced e-commerce and has reached 7 states and hundreds of stores, including Kroger, Central Market, and they have manufacturing capacities for national distribution via GFI or direct.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you all, and I appreciate the Apache plug. One of the common sayings was, "How do you know when there's a pilot in the room?" Because he'll tell you. So I definitely had to leverage that military experience with the cheese dip, which is why it looks like a slogan or a logo taken from Top Gun. But
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah. Where I'm trying to really work on the messaging, and it seems like it was a good fit. So appreciate y'all having us on, and looking forward to one day sitting in Sydney's seat. Hopefully.
Yes.
We'll make it happen for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely, definitely.
You have your kids here. You want to introduce your kids?
Yeah, this is Cameron, who's marketing the merch for us, and Julia,
What's up, buddy?
she was too shy to put a hat on, but that's okay.
She's just shy. She's like hiding behind you. There she is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll pop up. But
All
yeah,
right.
thank y'all.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us in a minute or two, just about the product, about new innovations, and how people can buy your product.
Certainly. I always forget the important part, right? So yeah, we started this. I say we. I'm still the only employee, and it doesn't sound very smart at this stage, but outsourced everything using my dad's recipe, and eventually grew from one store to a few hundred and regional distribution. And then we picked up Kroger and the Delta and Nashville divisions, and also added Central Market in Texas through distributors. And we're now working on starting September 1st with Schnucks. And as of yesterday, this is new news, and I probably shouldn't share it yet, but another retailer on October 20th in the Panhandle area, plus 600-mile radius.
Narrows it down a lot.
Right. Yeah. Sorry,
Perfect.
I probably gave it away, but but yeah, we launched with all the retailers, and we just started e-commerce, and you can purchase it online now. It's cold packed at www.arboscheesedip.com. So
Cool.
I'm a huge fan. Thank you all for letting me do this.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And you and I have talked for a while, and just love your story. You're a genuine guy, and just really appreciate what you mean to the community, and just putting yourself out there.
No, thank y'all, man. Y'all have been a tremendous help and inspiration for me too. So thank you.
Cool.
I can't wait to
Thanks,
try
Andrew.
it. I'm gonna order some after this.
It's great stuff.
Awesome. We'll talk soon, my man. Thanks for coming on, and good to meet your
Andrew.
kids too. Your ambassadors.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was going to say the one thing we haven't talked, and we still got time. I was going to say it seems like time's going fast, but we haven't talked to Sydney a little bit about the show, right? The Gordon Ramsay's show,
Yes.
and your experience with that, and I'm really, obviously the show, the show is what it is, and what I'm particularly interested in is your experience, obviously on the show, but what, if any, impact you've seen with your business since the show started?
Yeah. The show was a wild experience. Very unplanned. I definitely did go looking for it. It quite literally came to me and to my DMs on Instagram last year. And to be honest, I thought it was a scam at first. I was like, who would reach out to me to be on this Gordon Ramsay show on Instagram? But it was real. And I can confidently say I was very outside of my comfort zone being there. I think putting yourself on national TV and not knowing how it's going to be edited together is a bit terrifying. But all in all, I was there really to just, get the brand out there and share my story, which I think it definitely has had a really positive effect doing that. It hasn't been like a Shark Tank experience in the sense of like, you've got 1 minute clip, all the orders come in and, there you go. It's been a little bit more of a slower burn, which was kind of what we expected. And to be honest, I think whatever came of this, we kind of just, had the mindset that it would just be a bonus on whatever else is going on. So I think it's been really great to get the brand out there. It's been really awesome to leverage for retail, honestly, because they've really loved that we'll have the extra eyes on the brand as well. And it's been really great to leverage for PR. So all in all, super great experience. And I think it's been helpful for us in more ways than one.
What was the selection process? I'm really fascinated with this.
Yeah.
You mentioned like an Instagram message came in, and so it sounds like they found you, and then you went through an interview process. How many like steps did you have to go through before they actually accepted you?
It was very fast. I guess they had been casting for the show for about 6 months, and they found me within like the last 2 weeks of the casting process. So I essentially got on a video call and then submitted a boatload of media clips, videos of myself and of the brand. I think they really just wanted to get a good sense of our personality and kind of what we were about. And then we had like a final screening in person with probably about 30 to 40 like potential contestants where they interviewed us. We did a little like screen test, so to speak. And then they picked the final cast. But it was a wild experience. And I think I've never done anything like that before. And I think many reality shows work this way in the sense of, you know, our technology was taken from us, so we couldn't really communicate with the outside world. We were all tucked away in our own hotel room, so we couldn't communicate with each other. It was very interesting, like a very interesting social experiment on top of, you know, all of the challenges that happened on a daily basis for us too.
And then in the filming side, you know, you mentioned there's hotels, you're on site. How, because you can't tell from these shows, like what span of time are they filming this and then cutting up all the episodes? Like, how long was the filming process for you guys?
You know, there's a part of me that feels a little sad at watching the episodes because I know how many things aren't making it in there. You know, I think on average, we were filming 5 days a week, roughly.
5 days a week.
About 12 hours a day, give or take. The first week or so, since it's the first season of the show, they, you know, all the producers and directors were kind of still figuring it out. So we had some really, really long days, over 12 hours of filming. It was definitely like a full-time job. We were on, and it's crazy to see it all cut up into, you know, a 1 hour show.
Yeah. Was it like 1 week, like 5 days, 12 hours a day?
The show filmed for a total of 2 months.
2 months.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. It was a commitment. Honestly, coming out of that experience, it felt almost weird to be in the world again and seeing people again and having a phone again. It gave me a different sense of appreciation for normal living and not being in a hotel room or on camera.
So were you like sequestered that entire time, or was it like you went away for the weekend and you got your technology back on the weekends?
We would get our technology back between certain episodes, but whenever we were filming, it was like we didn't have it when we were on set or the days between filming and elimination. So it would be, you know, I would say half of the time we didn't have it, but I got really good at finding ways to distract myself that didn't require technology. You know, did a lot of crossword puzzles and read a lot of books and journaled a lot, kept myself busy. But yeah, it was such an interesting experience. And I think, you know, it is a reality show, so I think that they want to portray whatever drama they can.
Right.
But overall for us and for Toto, I'm happy with how things turned out. I feel like it was a relatively honest representation of what happened on the show. And ultimately, goal was achieved of getting the brand out there more.
For sure. Yeah, and I think you know, as mentioned, my friend, he's a partner in
Mhm.
Genius Juice, Mike Rao. He
Mhm.
was. It's a really quick story, but he was on MasterChef, I think season
Mm.
7 or 8. And for those that watch MasterChef, they compete. There's like 3 or 4 of them in front of the
Yeah.
judges, and then they pick one, and then that person picks the apron of the one that they want, or they get
Yeah.
the apron from
Yeah.
the chef, from Gordon Ramsay or whoever.
Yeah.
He was the last one to be eliminated
Wow.
before they had the final, whatever, 24 people or
Yeah.
30, whatever that number was. So he
Yeah.
was on the cutting edge, pun intended, of actually being on the show as one of the selected chefs. But
People. Yeah.
one thing that he actually mentioned to me is that they do a lot of this, and you know, conspiracy or not, on
Mhm.
purpose to get you a little more out of your element, to get you
Totally.
really, you know, to get you just totally enveloped and
Oh,
enmeshed
100%.
in that. And then you also get a little bit on, like anyone, you're human, you get on edge, you know, and
You
you're
get
like, because
competitive and
you
yeah,
know,
it's
mental and so like,
totally,
and then that comes
totally.
out on the show where some people break, some people get upset,
Mhm.
some people get really passionate, and it comes out in different
Mhm.
ways. But yeah, they do all this to just, they put you in a boiler room just to
Totally.
get you amped for the
Yeah,
show.
they take you away from people and technology and anything that would make you feel human, and then they put you in the most stressful situation, then put a
Yeah,
camera in your face and say, "Go, ready?"
it's
Yeah,
easy,
anyone.
right?
I mean, we're all human beings. Anyone. It's a miracle. I didn't absolutely lose my mind while I was there. It really
Yeah,
is. It
That's
really is.
fantastic.
I didn't see a majority of episodes yet, so I know that I can probably watch it
Mhm.
on a streaming
They're on
um,
Hulu. Yeah.
Hulu.
on
Yep.
Hulu. Okay, so I'm gonna catch up to it and see. But I did hear, yeah, you kept your calm and you're cool,
I
and that actually
like to
helped.
think so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, give you credit for it, and then positively reinforced your brand.
Mhm.
Very, very cool. All right, well, I think we are
Well,
at the 47-minute mark. Wade, anything else you want to
yeah, I was going to say
mention?
I got a one question from Lisa that I want to throw up, and then I've got one question on my own for
Mm.
Sydney, and then we can keep things rolling.
Mhm.
Sure.
So that's from Lisa. Have you thought about an oatmeal raisin flavor?
Yum. Yes, we have. I think that we'll definitely also, in addition to the other types of products that we're talking about, expand our core SKU line, potentially sometimes next year. I think that we really just wanted to focus on a core 4, make them all phenomenal, and then, slowly start to expand out from there. It will definitely at least be a seasonal flavor. So if it is, just stock up for, the next few years.
There you go. There you go. So, and what I wanted to ask you is, focusing, I guess, on your last 6 months.
Mhm.
You're such a, and I'm saying this, and I hope you know this. You're so inspiring
Mm.
as a female business owner, as a young person, your health, all these different things you've got. I mean, I think the audience that's listening right now, or that will listen down the road, will certainly attest to that. But if you were giving advice on what you've learned in the last 6 months, specifically, throw
Mm.
Gordon Ramsay out of here.
Mhm.
Just specifically what you've been doing.
Mhm.
What would that be? What would that learning point be that you would pass on to people who aspire to do what you're doing?
Mm. I've thought a lot about this actually, because I think that, the last 6 months have been a wild period of pretty exponential growth, but it's also been, preceded by years of working to get to this point. And so I think the words of wisdom I would have are twofold. One being, everyone's an overnight success. That actually took 10 years to build. Hasn't quite taken us that long yet, but I think there's a lot of things that people don't see that it takes to really get here. And two, which I almost think is more important, and it's become even more obvious to me over the last 6 months, is it's so important that while you're striving for this lofty goal, that you really take the time to pause and deeply appreciate where you are. Because I think it's become so clear to me that I still look back on 4 years ago when I was in my 1-bedroom apartment, hoping I would make rent, making cookies, mixing them by hand, didn't even have a mixer yet. I look back on that time with so much love and gratitude and compassion for myself. And there's such a deep intrinsic part of me that misses that in a way. And I think about right now, knowing that this is going to be the only time that I am where I am right now, and things are the size that they are. My team is the team that I have. And I think sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that and of maybe why you're doing it in the first place. And I had this conversation was really inspired by a mentor of mine, Mr. Barry Turner from Lenny and Larry's, who, has done probably the most incredible thing you could do with a product in this category. And I think that his words really inspired me to remind me that, it's awesome to have big goals and it's awesome to have big dreams. And I think everybody should have those. But I also think, they need to have them part and parcel with the presence and the gratitude for this moment too.
Yeah, it's really a journey in this entire thing of coming from the perspective of also being a brand owner and doing this for 10 years is not getting too results oriented, because the
Yes.
results will come from the journey and your effort and your hard work. And so it sounds really cliched when I'm saying it it sounds much better when you're saying it, but mine just sounds repetitive, but enjoy the journey.
Totally.
Just keep your head down, keep working, and good things come out of it with positive mindset, great team, great product. And so I think you're definitely echoing what Wade said without blabbing. I'm just incredibly inspired by everything you've achieved, the hardships, starting a business. Literally, I think, you launched this cookie pretty recently, right? In the last year, to go from 0 to 1,700 stores. Also in this environment where it's really hard to get hold of buyers. I mean, that's another thing that in general doesn't matter who you are, what retailers you're going to. It's hard to get into retail right now. It just takes a long time to get in front of them. So I think your persistence and never giving up has really shown through on your success. So congrats.
Thank you guys so much.
Definitely. And I would just add on a little bit more on the Sydney love train here that, since the first time we met, I mean, I think one of the things that, that I've admired and just respected about you is, we're connected in multiple ways on LinkedIn and Instagram and everything, is just your positivity. And it radiates here as you're speaking, and it radiates in your brand. And I think, a large part of you is very visible in what you're doing, both TV, your brand, and everything. And I think that's genuine, and I realize that, and I just think that's very admirable. So kudos.
Thank you guys so much. Oh, I should just come on the show every day. I would just feel so full by the end of it.
Yes. All right. Well, we have a couple things. You got Kate Cash there. You had her up. Before we go into our next segment, there's a good question that would be a good way to wrap up before we close the show. So Dan Barnard wants to know what was on your reading list while you were sequestered.
It's a great question. I actually have it right here. It is called, I don't know if you guys have seen this book. I feel like I've seen it everywhere, but it's called The Creative Act, A Way of Being, and it's by Rick Rubin. This is a book that I really felt like I needed at the time, because as an entrepreneur who is doing all day long and really checking off tasks, I felt like I was really losing my touch on creativity and being artistic and making things for the sake of making things, and really wanted something to reinvigorate that inspiration. This book is it. It's really great, really fascinating. It's got really practical ways to tune into your creativity, whatever that means to you, whether it's writing, journaling, actual art, cooking. I think that creativity and tuning into that in some way is so important, especially for entrepreneurs, because I think we do use one side of our brain so much that balancing it with something like this, it's been huge for me. So huge.
Yeah. You see, like, I just look at other CEOs that are out there, that the ones that are successful have both things going on. I mean, obviously the classic example is like Steve Jobs, right?
Totally.
So super technical, studious numbers guy, but also visionary and art. And he was like growing up, he was like a hippie artist, right? That became a businessman. At least that's what I gathered from the movie with what's his
So
face?
good.
Yeah, I forget his name. So yeah. So anyway, I agree with that for sure. I just wanted to so I want to check out that book for sure. And I'm a big
Definitely.
fan of Rick Rubin. I'm a big fan of because he
Yeah.
produced the Red Hot Chili Peppers and also
The Beastie Boys.
the Beastie Boys, and then also the turnaround for Metallica as
Yep.
well.
Interesting.
Because Metallica was, a lot of people didn't like their music in the 90s when they kind of went softer, and I still loved it. And then he took over in 2007, and their albums have gotten better and better with his input. So he's like,
He
man,
knows what he's doing.
he knows what he's doing. So two quick things I wanted to mention before going into stuff we love. Since you're in Santa Monica, it's going to be obviously super hot this weekend. I think it's going to be in the mid to high 90s.
Oh, wow. I haven't even checked the weather. Great.
Yeah. I think for you, it'll be like cooler because closer to the beach, but definitely anywhere in the valley, whatever, it's going to be in the mid high 90s. So make sure to hydrate. The other thing have you heard about, I don't know, Wade, if you've heard about this, but we do current events on the show when we can. We try to like imitate NPR for like a split second. That there are homes that are sinking into a canyon not far from where I am right now in Rolling Hills Estates. Have you heard about this?
No, I grew up in Torrance, so I'm very familiar with the area.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. So I grew up in Palos Verdes area and Torrance as well. Didn't even know that about you. That's something new I learned. So we can reminisce on Del Amo Mall and all that stuff.
Classic. Absolutely classic.
I actually met the guy. There's a guy, Andre Del Amo, that used to live in Redondo Beach, and his grandfather started Del Amo Mall.
Iconic. So, that guy's a local celebrity.
Yeah, he's like a surfer guy. He's like, whenever I drive by Del Amo Boulevard, I'm like, that's me. Anyway, we're getting off on too many tangents. So, but in Rolling Hills Estates, which is in Palos Verdes, about a 40-minute drive south of LAX, there are homes, multi-million-dollar homes that are on the side of a canyon in Palos Verdes, and it's national news, and they are slowly going into the canyon. There's like 30 homes going in the canyon.
Oh my gosh.
And they don't have any coverage.
I always joke that might happen. That was the price they paid for building that house that close to the cliff. Oh my God.
They just never thought it would happen like other areas like Malibu where it happens more, like landslides. And just about a week and a half ago, the people inside the home started hearing it creaking and things breaking and walls breaking and cracks in the wall. And they evacuated everyone from that side of the hill. And then the homes moved 20 feet in 24 hours. It just went. So I drove up there to see it with my wife and kid. We're 10 minutes from there, and I grew up there, so I knew the area. And it was, I mean, and then on the whole entire block, people are also evacuating as well. So they're looking into how this happened. They think it was a broken pipe or something that made it soft and then it just collapsed. Or it could have been all the rain we got in LA that softened the entire canyon. But crazy, like $2 million homes that are sinking into the canyon. No one got hurt.
Can't even imagine.
So,
can't even imagine.
I think they're going to do a federal aid to help pay for these people's homes. So that's the good news.
I would hope.
Like state of emergency. I think they're declaring a state of emergency for it. So anyway, just random news wanted to share since we're both in LA.
So crazy.
Yeah, this never would have expected that in Palos Verdes.
No.
All right, so the next segment is stuff we love. I know we're a little bit behind, and we're going to do this really quickly. So as mentioned, I have the Rising Tide Focus Creamer with MCT oil and lion's mane. Big on that. And I got the Mud Water, which has all the good stuff in there. Wade, we'll go to you, and then Sydney, we'll go to you.
I'm going to take the cheap way. Well, not cheap. The way out, because I didn't have a food product in front of me, but I have my latest Sonos thing here, which is the little portable guy. This is the Roam. Do you know about Sonos, Alex? It's like crack. I probably shouldn't show this, because once you buy it, we have
what is
you can't go back.
Yeah, it's like all over. We have our entire surround sound. We have one in the kitchen. We have in the bedroom.
Yep.
We have in the other, and then this one, though, what's super cool is it's portable. You can Bluetooth it. You can Wi-Fi it with the rest of your system. You can take it on the go. It sounds amazing. Not cheap, but they're a lot of fun.
No,
So
they're worth it.
Oh
we
my gosh,
also have
fabulous.
Sonos everywhere.
They're everywhere. I love it.
They're fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Definitely. How about you, Sydney? Do you have anything that
I do actually have something in front of me?
Nice.
Which I wasn't planning to share, but I'm a big sparkling water person. This is actually my first time trying Waterloo. I'm normally a Spindrift girl, but this is their lemon lime flavor, and it's phenomenal. I feel like I like Spindrift because it tastes like it has the most flavor, and I like that it's real ingredients. And I feel like a lot of sparkling waters just, you can barely taste it. It's hardly there, or it's barely carbonated. But this one's pretty good. I'm impressed. I feel like I'm trying a new sparkling water probably every week. It's definitely a hobby, but this one I'd give it 4 out of 5 stars. Spindrift is probably still number 1, but
I love Spindrift. I love Spindrift. Yeah.
It's so good.
It
so
is.
tasty.
What is a functional sparkling beverage that have you gotten into any of those? Like have like adaptogens or that kind of stuff?
I really like Hi-O, which I'm sure you guys
I was just thinking, I was like, in my mind, I just saw it at Sprouts. I was thinking Hi-O as well.
They just launched. Yeah. George and Evan and Signy are all very close friends. We all kind of came up together. And we've always done a lot of promo and brand events together, and their product's great. I like the watermelon flavor the best, probably, or their blackberry lemon. They're all really good though. And I feel like they're perfect at night. I don't drink, so it's kind of like the ideal thing to have, at the end of the day.
Yeah, it says on the package, like, a non-alcohol party drink or something like that. A lot of adaptogens. Yes. I had a friend from college that used to drink a lot, and he stopped drinking so that his life would be better, basically.
Makes a big difference.
Makes a big difference. He was overboard a little bit, but no, he started drinking Hi-O. He found it at Sprouts in their new section, and he absolutely loves it. I think the branding too is
branding's great.
Bright too.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Okay, so that is stuff we love. Great stuff. And then we're going to go into Friday freebies.
Friday freebies.
All right, got to get my voice over there. Like my producer did it, and I think he had a cold. It's like Friday freebies. All right.
Sounds intentional. I like it.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so we're going to be giving away, as mentioned, and I'm going to do the permanent sponsor way. We'll tag team as usual, and we'll talk about Arbo's cheese dip. He is the sponsor for this episode with an approximate value of $65. We have plenty of trivia questions we can to choose from with everything we talked about. Is packed on the show today between Sydney's story and the houses falling in the canyon to Wade talking about Sono. We have a lot to go over here. I did give away some answers though. All right, so let me go over our permanent sponsor is V-Driven. They're a CPG partner for emerging purpose-driven brands. They fuel growth and innovation by providing strategies and support in every phase of the retail journey. From leadership coaching, brand management, accounting. They do accounting, by the way, for almost like such a low price. And they also do deduction management, which is really, really important. Day-to-day tactical. And again, Luke Abbott, the CEO, is a veteran of the CPG space. So he's the CEO there, and make sure to reach out to him. So Luke.Abbott, LUKE.ABBOTT at vdriven.com. Right, Wade.
Right, and we've got Arbo's cheese dip, and that's what everyone's waiting for. Is how do they get some of this? And I'm not just saying this because he sponsored the show, but I tried all 3 flavors earlier,
Delicious.
and they're fantastic. Right? Did you try it,
Wow.
Alex?
I did once.
The originals, they have an original, a spicy, and a queso blanco.
Yum.
And so he's giving away a variety pack of those 3 flavors. I think 2 of each. And either a t-shirt or a hat. I think he's still deciding what he's doing there. So as Alex said, it's roughly $65. And again, great story. You got to see and hear from him a little bit earlier in the show. He's a veteran, a former Apache pilot. It's his dad's family recipe, and they've just been in business just about just a little over 2 years now. So great brand, great guy, great product. Yep, that's what we're giving away.
All right. So this is the part where we put you on the hot seat a little bit, Sydney, and you're going to come up with a question, a trivia question, something difficult for them to answer, something you mentioned or one of us mentioned during this episode, a fact, a date, a number, location, just anything that you want to bring up or ask, and then they win the prize.
Okay. You want it now?
If you got it.
Let's see. What was the original chronic illness that I was diagnosed with? Is that specific enough? Hard enough? Okay, great.
Yes.
There was a key word. There was a key word there. So hopefully if people are paying attention, they heard the key word because it's somewhat of a trick question, but I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to say what the key word is.
I missed it. I never, this is why I was a B- student in school. At least I passed.
So Alex, we've got a couple answers here. And the question is who's first? We see one thing here. And is that what people are seeing? So, I think we have the answer, Sydney, right? It's on here, right?
It is. I see it.
So we're going to ask for help on the feed that we see. I see Lisa Petty answered it first, right? Is that what you see, Alex?
That's what I see.
And hopefully that's the right one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think David Delcourt tried to guess it by saying much love, Alex and Wade got a jump. And that's not the answer.
Close, David.
So yeah, that's the right answer, correct? And Lisa was the first, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I will say the spelling isn't correct, but she was first, and it's the right answer. So
Alex, the key word was original.
Yes.
Her original diagnosis. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like the precursor to what came later. Yes. Okay. Well, make sure to email CPG Vibes 100. You will not get the prize unless if you want to direct message Sydney directly. Direct a lot of words. Or you can email cpgvibes100@gmail.com, and then we can hook you in with Sydney, and then she will get you the prize. I'm sorry, with Andrew.
I was like, I'll get some cheese dip and send out the prize. No problem. We'll send some cookies too.
Yeah, Lisa. So there's the email. There's the email there, Lisa. And I don't know if you saw this, Sydney, but
nice, very nice.
I love that.
So she's getting the product anyway, right?
Awesome.
She's buying
Perfect.
it.
Yeah, it's all about. It's just a big circle, right?
Yes.
Lisa's buying your cookies. She's getting Andrew's cheese dip. Yep. Win-win for
that's
everyone.
good karma. That's good karma.
Exactly.
Love it. Do cookies go good in the Arbo's cheese dip? Never tried that.
We're gonna find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, so the way we usually end the show is we ask each other, what are we doing this weekend? So Sydney, we'll start with you.
Great question. I'm planning to hopefully put my butt on a beach and get some sunshine and do as close to absolutely nothing as possible. It's my big goal for the weekend.
Nice. Love that goal. That's a great goal.
Thank you. I thought so too.
Yeah, I would, if I knew what the weather was going to be like, I would have elected also to do nothing.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it's such bad time. It's crazy. We have a golf tournament. It's a once a month. Oh my
gosh.
And not only that, it's in Pasadena.
Oh my gosh. Bring spray bottles for yourself. It's gonna be a hot one.
Just hire an assistant just to like dump water on me every 5 minutes.
Ice
But
packs everywhere. Yeah.
exactly. So I'm bringing both my Rich Insight bottles. I have 2 of them now. So I'm bringing both of those. I'm bringing my Rind bottle, and I'm also bringing my Guru bottle. Like I'm bringing all the bottles that were given to us from sponsors on the show. All brand. I'm gonna be like a walking advertising NASCAR driver. And then also I picked up 20 cases of Genius Juice for these 100 guys that
Yum.
are going and gals that are going to go out and golf. So
Yum.
yep,
That'll keep them powered and hydrated throughout the day.
exactly. I'm kind of conflicted on bringing the Genius Juice because I don't want them to play well. I'm competing against them. So I felt
Just
really
keep it all for yourself. Bring a personal cooler.
120 bottles. So right on. Okay, and then Wade, did you mention what you're doing?
I didn't, but my lovely, incredible wife is sweeping me away this weekend. We're headed to Wilmington, North Carolina, which is kind of a beachy vibe. We're going to leave first thing in the morning. I actually have a birthday coming next week, so she
Happy
is.
birthday!
Thank you. Yes, thank you. So yeah, we're sneaking away for a quick getaway. The rain is in the forecast, and it's been much like you're talking about. I'm looking at the high today was 95, and the low was I don't know if the low was currently 87. It's been very, very hot. So, but we're gonna make the most of it. We'll have fun regardless. We're looking forward to it. So
that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Happy almost birthday. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
What day is your birthday?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes.
July
18th.
Okay. 7/18. That's it's Wade Day.
That's
All
right.
Wade Day. Happy Wade Day.
National
National Wade Day.
Yeah.
All right. So just again, make sure to give us 5 stars on CPG Vibes. Also, make sure to subscribe to our podcast. And again, if you'd like to be a sponsor, we have an opening next week and some other openings also in August. Make sure to email CPG Vibes. There it is on the bottom. Those that are listening, cpgvibes100@gmail.com. And Sydney, thank you so much for being on, sharing your story. Just again, we've already said so much about your accomplishments. I won't embellish too much, but amazing what you've done. Congratulations, and excited to see the continued growth with Toto.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sydney.
All right. And Wade, love you, buddy. Have a good weekend. Sydney, you as well. Take care, everyone. If you're in LA or California, even I think in Texas, all over the country, stay cool.
Stay cool.